Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Rifles of the World. I'm Mike B, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Yugoslavian M48 Mauser. So this was a rifle that was designed in the late 1940s, around 1947, and it was actually adopted and implemented and started to be mass-produced in about 1948. There was a couple variations that came after this, like the M48 B and all that stuff, but this is just a standard M48, and I'll save those for other videos if I ever get an example of those. One just had like stamped parts versus milled, etc., but I digress. So this rifle was used by the Yugoslavian military from about 1948 into the 1950s officially, and unofficially it was kept as like a designated marksman or a sniper rifle. And in the Balkan Civil War of the 1990s, these were frequently used. You can see a lot of videos of guys carrying these in, either militia units or paramilitary units, or I think there was some officially using these too. So this fires the 8x57 millimeter, better known as the 8mm Mauser cartridge. Pretty common, good stuff. It's a hard-hitting rifle. We'll take a little closer look here. It's a beautifully designed rifle. It's like, I think it's one of the last Mauser action rifles to be designed and actually adopted by a military. There's so many of them in the United States too. Many of them were imported in the 1990s, and even up until a couple years ago they were imported in the hundreds of thousands, which is cool because it gives us access to a great Mauser large ring action. It's not a 98 action, it's actually like an intermediate length action. I made another video on that a long time ago about the difference between a K98 and an M48. They're not interchangeable bolts. Some of the little things like the barrel bands and stuff are interchangeable, and the sight covers, or sight hoods, but that's about it. It adopted the same style of sling cutout in the stock as the K98, and it's got the cupped butt plate like the K98, but it's definitely not a K98. It's the Yugoslavian version of the K98. So it's a carbine length, which is really cool. And they feature the Yugoslavian crest right here. The shadows don't screw me over. And the designation M48. The M48Bs and stuff will be marked as such. This is just a standard M48, which I like. Sights are graduated up to 2,000 meters. There's a standard V-notch sight. It's got a full handguard, just like a VZ24 and pretty much everything except a K98. And yeah, so again, this thing has an impressive service life, and if you watch videos and you really look closely in the 1990s, videos of guys in the Balkans like Bosnia and Serbia and whatever, we're still using these, and I find that crazy. The bolts on these were originally in the white, so if yours is blued, that means it's probably been redone, unless there's some weird example that I'm not sure of. Receivers are blued. These will vary in condition too, you can get them in this, which is shooter grade, quote unquote, which is aesthetically it's been carried around, but the bore was really good. This is the one that I made that 800-yard shot with iron sights. They're accurate. It's just like having a K98 without the price. Although these are going up in value, which kind of sucks because I really like them and I'd like to have a whole room full of them. But yeah, and I think these were exported to some other countries. You can find these popping up all over the world. But primarily in the U.S., a lot of people use them for hunting rifles. They sporterize them. I personally abhor that, but it is what it is. If you can make a nice rifle out of this, a nice hunting rifle, out of the action and the barrel and such, and you destroy the history, I guess it's not my rifle to really complain about, and mine goes up in value when you do that. So, but these are used for hunting a lot. A lot of people that think they have a K98 actually have one of these. Because a certain company that starts with an M and ends with an S for years was selling these as German-style Mausers, and that, obviously people don't understand the style, what that means, and they ended up getting a Yugoslavian M48, and they paid way too much for it at the time, because these were going for about $200 to $225, for about 5 years straight. They were really common. They're about the price of a Turkish Mauser. And now the really nice condition ones are being seen from like $400 to $450 for a nice example. I wouldn't recommend paying that much. You can get a shooter grade like this that's just as good. It's gonna hit your target. It looks cool. It's been kind of carried and stuff. You can get one of these for like under $300 if you look hard enough. secondary market, a lot of people will just want to get rid of these. But yeah, you don't have a German Mauser if you've got one of these. Sorry, there's really nothing German about it, maybe except the sling cutout, but that's it. These have been imported by many different companies over the years too, and I think Century Arms is one of the bigger ones, Inner Arms, stuff like that. This is an Inner Arms import. Arguns, you name it, these have been imported. There's so many of them. I believe the supply is dried up, which kind of sucks, but if you have one, and you know how nice they are. One of the drawbacks, I think, is, I know I'm going to get a bunch of people, it doesn't kick. Yeah, when you shoot hundreds of rounds through it in a day like I do, it starts wearing on your shoulder. The carbine length, any carbine length 8mm rifle, kicks a little bit more than a full length, which means that if you're shooting it all day, and you're getting the barrel nice and hot, and you're wearing a t-shirt, it's going to leave a mark on your shoulder. So, I mean, it's nothing big, but that's just a personal gripe I have about it. It's really loud, and it kicks a little bit, but if you're not shooting it all day, it's not a big deal. So now I'll kind of show you the bayonet, what that looks like on there, because these do have bayonets that were specifically made for this rifle, and then we'll wrap the video up. So here we go. Okay, for the bayonet, we've just got a simple Mauser style. They kind of kept the traditional style. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it comes with a little leather frog like this. You can see that. Little tab, pretty standard. It's got the little nub that sticks through the frog, kind of like every other Mauser short bayonet. On, stay down. Take this out. This one's in pretty good shape. This is why I decided to keep it. It's got the factory 44 markings on there, just like the rifle does on the other side. This one happens to be matching serial numbers. Again, it's pretty cool. I like it. And yeah, it's not very long. It's about the size of a S8498, so I think it's like, what, a 9-inch blade? 9 or 10-inch blade. Not a very big bayonet. Decent little fighting knife. Not very big either. The handle's pretty thin, considering. So I'll just go ahead and grab the rifle, and I'll put the bayonet on. I'll show you how it locks on. It's just like a K98. So up here you've got the cleaning rod or clearing rod, and then you've got the lug right there. So these are actually made like the K98 bayonets. There's a little channel inside the bayonet itself for the cleaning rod. You can just stick it on like that. And this one's actually got a locking ring, or a muzzle ring, to go around the muzzle. And then that's what the rifle looks like with the bayonet on it. Or I'll show you a full picture in a second. Just kind of want to show you the details. And then to take it off, you simply push this button down, and then the bayonet comes off. So just like a K98 bayonet or any other Mauser bayonet that has the bar style lug. But yeah, this one's got a muzzle ring. Alright, so that's just kind of a little rundown of the Yugoslavian M48 rifle. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. That look cool with the bayonet on there. Yeah, that looks pretty sweet. Yeah, it's just a nice short little rifle. Nice little package. So yeah, if you got any questions, go on my Facebook page and you can ask on there. And if you haven't already, like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to know more about guns like this and other cool surplus items. And most of all, become a supporter on Patreon using the link in the description. For even $1 a month. It gets you into like live streams, and you get to get exclusive content that is either not posted on YouTube, or only like half of it's posted on YouTube, and the other half will be posted on Patreon. So I encourage you to do that. That'd be really cool to support the channel. We can do more shooting videos and stuff. The people on there already like the content that's been delivered on there. It's a little bit more personal and stuff. You can check out my video on that and why it's cool and everything. So yeah, you should go do that. But if you don't want to, that's totally cool as well. It'd be really neat if you did, though. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I don't think I left much out. It's just a basic overview. This isn't really in-depth, like this person invented this part on this gun and whatever, but it is what it is. So, without further ado, we will end the video. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.